everywhere bust few hours ago as arrest news scatter few hours ago in the hand of Rufai OSENI of Arrest TV. Kasala bust everywhere. Moment Rufai OSENI asked Tinubu some questions regarding the interview that was granted few hours ago. Nigerians never expected the questions that Rufai asked Tinubu, and this question showcased the buttons of Tinubu and the buttons of a lot of Yorubas. Nobody ever expected that Rufai can touch questions in all those areas. So I'd like us to stay connected to the end of this video, because I'm going to be playing you the full video, the way it goes. You will see the reason why Tinubu got into power and the reason why it's actually making suffering a nice food for Nigerians. Just stay connected to the end of the video. If you can share this video, just do what to share it. Share it to the social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it. Like the video, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome back to LAJUPOG TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, ensure you click the registration button that is showcasing on your video screen, and at the same time click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let it to know. Kasala boss everywhere few hours ago. I missed the questions that Rufai OSENI actually asked Bola Ahmed Tinubu in a live television program on Arrest TV. Nobody ever expected that Rufai can ask all those questions. I miss everything that have been happening in Nigeria. I miss everything that Tinubu have been making Nigerians to go through. No journalists have ever come out to ask Bola Ahmed Tinubu questions regarding how he's ruling and governing the affairs of Nigeria. The reason why he's putting the people in a hardship poverty and multidimensional poverty, because few days ago the world rated the countries with the highest poverty rate, and they rated Nigeria as the place of highest poverty in Africa. They said Nigeria have 90% poverty, but 70% of the poverty comes from the north. Imagine what is happening in Nigeria. Nigeria enter a poverty list in the regime of Buhari and Tinubu. That is what is happening. They will never see Nigeria among countries with multidimensional poverty in the world ranking before. But Nigerians are actually suffering now due to the policies of APC, due to the hunger policies of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And Tinubu keep coming out and telling the people to be suffering and smiling. He never want to see anybody suffering and crying. He said everybody must be suffering and smiling. That's what Tinubu said. Now he increased fuel price to around 1,000 naira per liter in many places in Lagos. In Lagos, you buy for around 1,400 naira per liter. Where on earth is this happening? And the money is not being out there for the people to use. The money is not there for the people to use to foot their bills. And Tinubu keep comparing Nigeria to other big countries like Canada, US, UK, France, and all of that. Countries that have a very high minimum wages. The minimum wages of Nigeria is around 70,000 naira. While the minimum wages of country like US, if you should convert it to naira, is around 3 million to 4 million. Now tell me, if those people should buy fuel at the rate of 2,000 naira per liter, will it affect them? Now everywhere bust few hours ago. The people have been living in suffering. Nigerians have been crying and protesting. They have arrested a lot of protesters and they acquire a lot of them. They kill a lot of them because of the protest. Rufai OSENI finally dashed it to Tinubu to his face. I would like us to stay connected to the end of this video, because I'm going to be playing you the full video in this video. You will see things the way it goes. If you can share this video, just do what to share. Share to the best social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it. Like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. A lot of Nigerians have been looking for who to voice out for them. A lot of people see themselves as a kind of person that is voiceless, because the government of Tinubu is doing everything possible to suppress the voice of the people. They will never allow the people to talk. Once they say that this person is coming out to talk regarding their shenanigans, their criminality, and their rascality that they're doing out there, they will do everything possible to bring the person down and suppress the voice of the person. They will come with intimidations and bullying. They will come with all manner of misuse of power and abuse of power on the person. That is when the law will work on the person and all of that. But the law will never work for them, because they are the elite. They are the political elite. The law will never work for them. You can see the way the people actually come out to protest from August 1 to August 10. You can see the number of people that they actually prove. They pay a lot of people because of the protest. A lot of people are not alive again due to the protest, and a lot of parents have been in pain pain and agony, crying every day because they proved their children, just because their children went out to protest and stand for their country. They cry for hunger, that hunger is too much in the night. They cry for help, that Tinubu should help them, that the hunger is too much. They can't afford the cost of living of the country. But as if that is not enough, Tinubu weaponizes the security operative of Nigeria as if they're going for war. They weaponizes them with billions of naira, and as if that is not enough, the security operative went to the protest ground. I'm not supposed to be telling you all these things. You know what happened. I'm just flashing you back to what really happened in cause of the protest and all. The security operative that are supposed to be protecting the peaceful protesters, they got to live protest ground with live ammunitions, and they pulled the trigger, and they pulled a lot of people, and they did not bring any of the security operative to book. Rather, they arrested some protesters, and after arresting them, they put them to jail, and a lot of them are still in jail. More than 2,000 protesters have been arrested, and a lot of them were charged for treason, and this is an offense under the law that is punishable by death or by life sentence and all of that. That is what they're trying to do to Nigerians now. The secret of why Tinubu actually arrested protesters have finally leaked out. Rufai OSENI have finally leaked the photos out. You will see show in this very video everywhere boss. Rufai OSENI have asked questions that unveil the reason why Tinubu is actually suffering Nigerians, and the reason why Tinubu actually arrested a lot of protesters or anybody that is coming out to talk about him. You will see show in this video. If you can share the video, just share the video. Nobody ever expected this. A lot of people have been scared of Rufai OSENI with the kind of mind, the temerity that he has whenever he wants to ask politicians questions. This guy will always come straight and ask them intellectual questions, unlike other journalists in Nigeria that will be asking ridiculous questions that even a primary 6-year-old child will know how to go about it. But Rufai and Sheikh Okinpaloye of Chinese television, they will always come out to call a spade a spade. They will ask intellectual questions that if care is not taken, you will unveil your buttocks. The questions will bring out the secrets in hidden places. What the politician is trying to hide in the interview, he won't be able to hide it because of the questions that they ask. Now you will see the questions that Rufai asked Bola Ahmed Tinubu amidst the suffering that is ongoing in Nigeria. People cannot afford to eat 2 square meals, and the same Tinubu is coming out to be telling the people to be enduring and be smiling. He said they should be suffering and laughing just because he's not feeling the pain of the people. But he keep coming and telling them that he feels their pain, and the same person that is coming out to tell them that he feels their pain will come out to increase fuel price to the price that people cannot even afford to buy it, and the same person will buy jet for himself. The same person will approve money to renovate the house of the vice president with 21 billion. The same person will allocate 70 billion for the SUVs of the senators and all of that. The same person that said that is feeling the pain of the people is coming out to add the office of the first lady that is not constitutional, and is even allocating money for the office to buy cars for the office of his wife, which is not in the constitution. The same money is spending Nigerian money luxuriously. It's not even cutting the cost of governance. The same person that feel the pain of the people is living lavishly and enjoying on behalf of the people in the Aso Rock chamber. Now the people have burst out. Now you see the question that Rufai asked. So if you can share the video, share it as I'm taking you down to the video. Just watch and coming back again.
I'm in jail who are being prosecuted for treason for partaking in the hunger protest. Now, how do you charge people for treason for a protest against the destruction of their economic livelihood? At the same time they went for Ajero, they also went to Serap. So, is that the same case with Serap? And we've seen there was a journalist called Shoyinka who came and was arrested. Yes. So we are moving back to the days of Abacha if we are not careful. And that's why we are very concerned, and we are asking for the immediate release of those who are locked up for treason. Even if you are violent during protests, you could be charged for willful destruction of property and other things, but never treason. And the question that we have to ask is that who is even treasonable here? Because what would Nigerians are actually facing, the economic sabotage, because I would say it's economic sabotage when you have cut our real wages by over half. There's inflation, and this is, and you know, they keep on telling us it's economic reforms, whereas we see it as economic sabotage, even bordering on economic treason. Because listen, we have, the main problems we have in Nigeria are the imports and petrol. Now, out of our imports, 1/3, at least about $21 billion is spent on importation of fuels and oils. The second highest ticket is on vehicles. Now, this is a government that came in, and you know that within 100 days, we would have expected that at least 55% of that import bill could be taken care of. Instead of reducing the vehicle bills by making all government tiers buy locally produced cars, you go out, you buy thousands of expensive foreign cars. Our refineries have gobbled over 20 billion. Nothing is happening. And then we also have these stories come out with Dangote's refinery. So what do you expect the people of Nigeria to say?
Principally, by way of summary, is this your opinion or Refinery position? Because you are saying that the Tinubu government is sabotaging the Nigerian economy.
It is.
You are saying
that
they are guilty of economic treason.
Yes.
Is it your personal opinion as Principal Oye?
No, it's
or that is the position of Refinery?
No, it's something we have discussed, and logic shows it that there was a way that the government could have resolved these economic problems. In Tinubu's manifesto, on page 34, 36, I think he said categorically that he would not remove these subsidies until refineries come up. Now, you're coming up with these foreign institutions pushing free market principles, which don't apply. Because in the first place, you are the monopolist supplier of foreign exchange in Nigeria. You supply over 80%. So the value of Nigeria indirectly is tied to you. Right. It depends on how much you supply that we're going to have. If you increase the supply today by 300%, definitely the dollar will fall by at least 200%. Same thing with the petrol. You are a monopolist. You are the ones who are supplying it. And so if you do something that is against our national interest, our national economic interest, then it's tantamount to economic treason.
Okay. All right, so, from your stance, I want to assume that Refinery was in support of the End Bad Governance and
yes,
that protest. Okay, so you were. Did you march? Did you go out to protest? Did you support protests?
The young guys, the younger ones did. I'm nearly 60. I won't be.
No, everybody of all ages went out to protest. I don't think it was. We saw people.
And we saw what happened with the Lagos protest. They were beating. They were beating journalists. They were beating. They were harassing people.
Yeah.
They spent billions bribing people not to come out.
Billions, that's interesting. But let me ask about, yesterday we had the NLC publicity spokesperson come here, Mr. Benson, and he had said that it was as a result of, it was a distractionary move by the government with this whole Mr. Jerry issue because of the recent hike in petrol prices and the protests of NLC as a result of that. Now, verbal protests, they said that the action will be taken maybe by the 1st of October or thereabouts, but that this is meant to distract them and the people from facing that issue. Do you agree with his sentiment, or that where Mr. Bayo Onanuga through that statement has said, no, it's not a human rights violation, the president himself is pro-democracy, he himself had marched out in protests at different times? Do you think, what do you say about both sides of the story?
You see, even the president and APC, because they come out and say there's some foreign involvement, they were being sponsored, but APC and the government, we know in 2014 when President Jonathan came out and said they were being supported by foreign institutions, and we know that millions were paid to push the corruption awareness program. Nobody arrested them for treason. So how can you now come back and say, even if you had some foreign sponsorship, which happens with all the CLOs, you understand, there are no weapons being exchanged, it's not a matter of ideology, people are hungry. So how can you keep nearly 1,000 people, as we hear, in prison on treason?
So is the government trying to distract us from the real issues by these things, or
Yes,
they're just
and-
intolerant?
You know, after the protest, we've also had another increase. So what we're now having is we're having different types of distractions, and you know the prices keep on going on. People, and even the dollar is rising against naira, and the pound. You understand? Yes. So that is also going to feed into inflation again. So and we also have high interest rates, which has destroyed our economy or keeps on. So employment is increasing.
Rather than tackle the issues,
They're not tackling the issues.
They'd rather distract.
And they're saying that there's an economic reform. What reform? Can they specifically tell us which specific industries do they expect to grow from these reforms? When you see how you can cut the petrol and car importation, which is over half of our import bills, you're not addressing those, and then you're now going in and making everybody's life difficult.
Okay, I want to ask you this. What faction of the Refinery? Because we know...
We don't have factions. I think I said that the last time.
And I'm going to say that because Professor Roti will not say all these things you are saying against President Tinubu. In fact, the case with them, Professor Roti Ako, is Tinubu ma bashere law. That's their case. So you saying all of this, some people in the Refinery will say, oh, this is alien. So what faction do you represent, for the sake of clarity? Secondly, the next question I'll ask you is this. Would you say that this government has respected the human rights of Nigerians? And concerning all of this economic quagmire, does Refinery have a position on how things can be better? Does Refinery have a blueprint of some sort? You know, what are some of the ideas you are putting forward to be able to solve most of these problems?
Okay. The first question, we don't have a faction. We have some people who, for propagandist motives, decided to go with Tinubu. But
You say professionality for propagandist motives?
Yes. And I also come from Akure, you understand? But it's all Omawaje Koshi, you understand? That's prepared now. List, you understand?
So that's the reason. It's just because
it is not because of the policies.
It's not because he was competent, or it's just because he's Yoruba. That's why professionality say
definitely not. Definitely not.
Is that it?
Look, for 8 years, for the last 20 years, Refinery has criticized the way Tinubu has been ruling, because we are social welfareists. And we believe in making life abundant. Even in Lagos, he didn't do it. You understand? Lagos would have collapsed under Tinubu if not because of the import market that we have here. It is not because of what he has done.
No, but they said he did. He's the father of New Lagos.
Oh.
That he put every blueprint in place to make Lagos magnificent.
Oh, and I guess
that when he came into Lagos, they said Lagos was a shithole. He transformed Lagos and turned it to paradise. That's what they said he did.
Well, you can tell that in the man in Maduguri, but we that live in Lagos know that...
Tinubu didn't do anything well in Lagos?
What?
He's the father of modern Lagos.
Listen, you built less than 16 kilometers of metro line in 24 years. How could you see, if he had finished the 160 kilometers in Lagos of metro line, we would have industrialized this economy. The same percentage, the same 70% of processing industries is what we're still having. It's still a neo-colonial economy.
So your solutions?
The solutions are this, right?
And do you think he respects human rights of people? That you can answer quickly. And the solutions?
Definitely not.
Okay, so what are the solutions, economic solutions? I
wrote something about the Nigerian dream, right? And if you go back to what Roosevelt did, you understand, I would have expected that when he came in, the first thing was to get rid of at least 50% of our imports. Then to take care of unemployment, poverty, and homelessness. He could have been engaged, you understand, in massive building of housing and railways. You will say, oh, we don't have the money. We do have the money. If you go, if you take the modern monetary theory, right? You could deficit budget. You could build as long as you prevent that money from seeping into imports. So if you build, let's say, 1 million or 2 million houses in every state, you understand? I mean in total, with 100% of raw materials of locally produced. No, he didn't.
He gave over 100 billion to the housing scheme so that they can start building houses. He's doing the coastal road. He's bringing about development.
You see, there are different types you can bring infrastructure, right? We complained about the coastal road. When you build a road, you understand, you connect economic node points. You don't go and build a road where there's no economy.
Can we deal with specific issues?
Okay.
Instead of this general talk.
Yes.
One, on the question of identity, you said there are some people who call themselves Refinery,
yes,
who are prebendalists.
Yes.
Okay. When President Tinubu got there, not too long ago,
yes,
some Refinery leaders went to visit him to encourage him.
Yes.
Were you part of that delegation?
Definitely
Or are those the people you are referring to?
Yes.
As the prebendalists?
Yes.
The people who are looking for something to eat?
Because they were not going for the people. They were going for what could come to them. Otherwise, they should tell us what programs they got or what concessions they got from the people, from President Tinubu.
Okay, so there are some Refinery leaders that are stomach infrastructure leaders.
It's not only Refinery, there are a lot of leaders at both home and in Refinery everywhere.
This particular Refinery group, they are stomach infrastructure
Yes,
people.
we have always had that as well. If you look at back to I mean, every election, Tinubu takes those, takes a little group who want to eat, and they go, but Refinery continues on its principles.
Identity is established now. Second point, Mr. Ononuga yesterday was saying that Comrade Joe Ajero of the NLC is not above the law of the land, that he had been invited. That can anybody imagine a situation whereby a labor leader will be invited by MI5 in the UK, right, or Scotland Yard, and the person will not honor the invitation and travel? But you have tried to defend Comrade Ajero here. Should there be a situation whereby somebody is invited and the person snubs the security agencies?
Well,
are there circumstances when that should be allowed?
No, but we know that he was invited about 2-3 weeks ago, and he went. He went with a group, if I remember. Why are you intimidating? Because we see it as intimidation. What are the charges against him? Why was he arrested? I mean, the airport. And if it was true, then why did you now release him within 24 hours? You understand? We don't believe that you need to keep on bringing the NLC president in for questioning for the inalienable rights of citizens to protest. It's not, you understand? And, he has a meeting, which we all, which we've heard about, the TUC meeting, which is part of his labor group. Why did you have to arrest him before then, when you know? But you went to wait for him at the airport and arrested him and then released him. I'm probably going to arrest him, another week. It's intimidation. And it's not only NLC president, because one thing I want to, because we tend to concentrate on the big fish. There are underage protesters who are currently being locked up for treason. Ajero and NLC have, they have enough power to stop the government from harassing President Ajero. But what about those protesters who are being charged for treason? That is the main concern of Refinery, because I came to this studio and I said we support their inalienable rights to protest, especially in this case where their economic livelihoods have been destroyed under the pretense of an economic reform program which is fallacious. So if a serious government comes into power within 100 days, I expect those refineries to work. Now, we've been having excuses, but from what we have seen now that's happening now is that they are vested interest not to make those refineries work. We've also heard...
They said mechanically complete. What do you think they mean by that?
Well,
they told us that in December.
They told us that it was going to work in September, in December, in January. I think it changed with the seasons.
So he keeps changing positions.
And because even General Obasanjo, President Obasanjo said that there's a problem with this subsidy, with these refineries. There are those who are working against Nigeria's economic interests, and that is economic sabotage.
Do you think President Tinubu can fight those people and defeat them?
Well, so why is he there?
So he should be able to fight them.
He should be. That is his duty. His number one duty is to protect Nigeria's economic interests, regardless of who it is.
Okay, another question I would like to ask you is, you said reduce our import by about 50%. It's a highly import-dependent nation.
No,
You've
it's
talked
not.
about no.
It's not.
I mean, almost
we
everything,
only have
even
16% of our GDP is based on imports. That's the that's our GDP import ratio. And we have countries.
Our medicines, do we make our medicines?
You see, even when you look at the medicines, when you look at, they are nothing compared.
Do we make our equipment here?
Even that equipment, you understand? I have mentioned to you that 2/3 of our imports.
We see import maize,
yes.
We see import food.
Yes, and all the food is 10%.
We're not seeing
Hold on.
rice sufficient.
You see, that is 10%.
Yeah.
We have 1/3 fuel.
Yeah.
We have 20% cars. That is 54%. When you come in,
cars locally.
We produce cars locally.
Yeah.
So if the government had come in,
does not even drive a Nigerian-made car.
You see, now if the government had come in and said all tiers of government should use Nigerian cars, could you imagine the impact on unemployment? Because they would have to grow. It would have solved our unemployment problems. So you can see that while our issues, 55% of this import could be wiped off within 100 days, but you now put the whole country into this false narrative of free market, and we know where this, and the only reason why they're doing this, and I have to say this, is that they're working with some financial institutions, international funds, and this year alone he's taken about $12 billion. What for? Because these international financial institutions do not give us loans for developmental projects.
Thank you for staying connected. You can see the way that interview actually went on Rufai TV. You can see the questions that Rufai OSENI actually asked alongside with Ruben Abati. They ask all those intellectual questions from that man, and that man actually explained a lot. He unveiled a lot regarding Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They unveiled the book tours and they dig out the book tours of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In this very interview, you can see the reason why a lot of people actually voted for Tinubu in course of the 2023 election. Yorubas actually come out with their sentiment. Tinubu threw out this tribal sentiment then, and they said it is Yoruba's turn. That Hausa has finished their tenure, which is Buhari regime. They said it is now Yoruba's turn. Those are the slogans that were reigning then, and the Yorubas are doing everything possible to make sure that Tinubu gets into that power. Rufai OSENI is a Yoruba man. I personally am a Yoruba guy, but that doesn't mean that we should come out to gaslight the people or we should come out to sugarcoat things. Tinubu weaponizes the tribal stores then, and a lot of Yorubas were thinking when Tinubu went to the live television and said it is his turn, a lot of Yorubas were thinking that Tinubu is referring to them. Tinubu was just saying that it is his own turn. Buhari have done his own. They have a cordial agreement, and Tinubu said Buhari have finished his own tenure. The agreement is that Tinubu will be the next person there. Now Tinubu said it is his turn. Yoruba personalizes it to themselves. They say it is Yoruba's turn. You can see the way Yorubas are actually enjoying the country now. You can see the way Yoruba are buying food cheaper in the country. You can see the way Yoruba are actually buying fuel as a 15 naira per liter now, and others are suffering. Is the suffering not going around? Is the suffering not going around and touching everybody, both the rich and the poor in the regime of Bola Ahmed Tinubu? You can see the reason why Yoruba actually voted for Tinubu. They voted for Tinubu because they said, that's what they say. They said their shadow will not be on ground and they will put bid on another person's button. It's an adage. That's to tell you that they will not see a Yoruba man on ground and they will put an Igbo man or Hausa man on the position of the presidency. Now they said even though their child is not competent, even though their child is not capable, they should just put it there. They just want to see a Yoruba person on the presidency. Now a Yoruba person is there. The protest that actually emanated and sparked out actually started from the Yoruba land. It started from the southwest because the Yorubas are actually suffering. Tinubu is making them to see shege promise. The omoeni that they say, their own child that they said that they want to be in the presidency, their own child that they thinking that if you should get to the presidency is going to treat them special, that their own child is making them to be see shege. Yorubas are seeing shege promise as far as Nigeria is concerned now. That's the reason why they voted for Tinubu. It's not because of the competency, it's not because of anything. They voted for Tinubu due to their own tribal sentiment. Yorubas were being sentimental then, and that is why they put their support, they pour their effort to ensure that Yoruba gets there. Now Yoruba is there. You can see the way Nigeria is sinking. They will not give the vote to a competent person. They will not give the vote to someone that will deliver. They will not give the vote to someone that respect the law and the constitution and someone that respect the human right of the people, but rather they give it to someone that they think is their own child. Now that's the reason why they voted for Tinubu, and the reason why Tinubu is making the people to be suffering is because Tinubu always wants to be a president. Tinubu is never interested in the nation growth and all of that. You will see all the interview that they actually granted in the course of the election. Tinubu avoided a lot of interviews. He never attended a lot of interviews. Let's call a spade a spade. This back to the videos of the interviews that Obi Atiku, Kwakwanso, Sowore and others. Go back to the interview that they did in the course of the election thing. You will see that Tinubu was absent in 90% of the interview. They did not see questions to ask Tinubu because he wasn't present. Why? Because Tinubu never had the nation in mind. He never have it in mind that he wants to do anything positive to Nigeria. All Tinubu wants to be here is he wants to be president. He wants to be called a president. He said, "A man of a president. I want to be a president." President. That was what Tinubu said when he got to Ogun State. Then he said he wants to be president. Now the name president at the back of his name is what is prioritizing, and he got it already. Now everybody is calling him president. Now you're expecting him to come out to make Nigeria a place to be. You're expecting him to come out to ensure that everything goes well in the country. Nigerians will keep suffering if care is not taken. With the policies that Tinubu is bringing out that have taken a life of a lot of people, you will see the way things will continue to be in Nigeria. And now the reason why they arrested a lot of protesters and they pull a lot of them to jail and they charge some of them for treason is because Tinubu actually want to distract the people. According to this interview that you just watching, Tinubu want to distract the people. That is why he said they should charge them for treason. They charge them for treasonable felony, and this is an offense under the law that is punishable by death, and they have breached the fundamental human right of the people in their own country, because the people have the right to protest according to the subsection 40 of the 1999 constitution. They have the right to make a peaceful protest. Now for Tinubu to breach the right of the people by charging the same people that came out to protest for treason, that's to tell you that Tinubu did not respect the fundamental human right of the people, and he want the people to respect the same democracy of the country. Now he charged them for treason. What did the protesters do? What did they do that warrant them being charged for treason? Did they want to overthrow Tinubu? The answer is capital no. Did they weaponize themselves against the security operative to overthrow Bola Ahmed Tinubu? It never happened. The protesters never weaponized themselves in cause of the protest and all. They made a peaceful protest and all, but why are they charging them for treason? They actually wanted to charge them for treason so that it can scare a lot of other people that are still planning to protest, because according to reports, NANS is coming out, National Association of Nigeria Students. They said they will shut down universities, they will come out in their numbers and their minions, they will shut down everywhere in Nigeria, every working firm in Nigeria, they will shut it down on September 15th, that they will protest all around, that the protest will not be like the August Ember government protest, that the Tinubu in question must attend to all the agitations of the people, that if they did not attend to it, they will not leave the streets. And I said that is not enough, so Ure came out, he said protests will come out on October 1, the Independence Day, and they said they will shut down everywhere in Nigeria, that Independence Day will be on protest, that there is nothing that Nigeria is celebrating. Nigeria is not celebrating any independence. They believe that Nigeria have been hijacked and it's a captured state by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because they believe Tinubu have hijacked every firm, every institutions in Nigeria, and they believe that Tinubu is operating on a dictatorship stores. They said Nigeria is not celebrating any democracy. That's what they're saying. Now drop your opinion in the comment section of this video. regarding what Rufai OSENI did in this live interview. Drop your opinion, feel free, say your mind. As again, I dedicate and that one for you. And share, follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, he pastor for LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the back, where politician with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you waiting for church. All as LAJUPOG Watch TV.